If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The camera's here and the microphones and they walk.
Welcome to the Project Extra Score podcast. My name is Paul. This is Andrew and Joel on the other side here. The one in the hat's Andrew. The one without a hat is Joel.
Killed it.
Shirts and skins, as we like to call them. Sorry that we had no audio. It looked like it had got unplugged, but of course, our great fan base or viewing audience let us know that there was no sound. I noticed that at first, so this falls on me for sure. Like I noticed something looked different, but now I can understand what it is. So yeah, you missed. I'll catch you guys up to speed. You missed a little bit about.
Seemed really
Michael
hard to read.
Keaton.
Yep. Beetlejuice, ghost at Bernadette.
There was a ghost at Bernadette.
Could have been a nice, friendly ghost.
We don't know.
Yeah.
But it was definitely some type of ghost.
Him out. Yeah.
Yeah. And Joel was like,
Look,
yeah. So we went to Bernadette earlier today and we went at like noon and of course no one's home. It's nice and cool and dark in there. And we like come out of the kitchen and like, as I'm walking like past the hallway into the living room, it sounds like a door opens and shuts. And I looked down the hall, like waiting to see someone like come out of a door, and nobody came out the door. I looked at Joel and was like, look down the hall. Like thinking we were going to catch someone off guard, and no one came out.
Right.
And then, like I said earlier, Lauren was standing there directly behind us afterwards, and we had a really good conversation with her.
Yeah.
Shout out, Lauren. What else we talk about? Prequels, sequels, movies. Yeah.
Well, no, there was, but Allie was there, or who was there?
Allie was there, yep.
Yeah.
Allie was there with her headphones on, jamming
A
out.
lot of girls or people like just, fresh and they're like working and then signing up for school and they're starting school and then in recovery and they're just new and it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. Also, it's kind of like, I don't know, like you think there's a point in early recovery where maybe you can be taking on a little bit too much,
Yeah.
over ambitious.
We're really firing on all cylinders.
I thought you were tying that into the ghost.
It's been a long day. Like, I'm going to talk about it anyway. I don't care what nobody thinks. We had an intake that came in today. Really nice person. I won't even go into the gender of said person, but anytime we have a new intake, like there's a few like ground rules, like you have to, get all the paperwork over, with them. You really go thoroughly through the rules, let them know like, hey, this is what we do. These are kind of the barriers, obviously no drugs, alcohol. This is your curfew, yada, yada, yada. And what's up, Casey? So I go to we have to then search their belongings, right? And I always say, listen, if you got something in there, let me know now before I go through your stuff. I'd just rather you just tell me. We're going to find it. Oh, no, there's nothing in there. Something. And then we go and we find this, how big is my water jug? Like a liter? 2 liters? Liter and a half?
I don't know. It's your water jug.
Yeah. So Nicole's helping me go through all this stuff. And
Was it vodka?
Gas, son.
Yeah.
That if it wasn't
That's probably how I'd show up to halfway.
if it wasn't vodka, it was
Right.
full. I mean, it was massive. When I think Sam opened it and it was almost threw up. And Nicole took it all the way to the ditch, poured it out, and came back.
On the fresh grass?
No, in the ditch in the sand. Hey, what's up, Angel? And long story short, you could smell it from the front of the house, with the sidewalk, all the way at the street.
Should gave it to the neighbors.
Yeah, and then
No.
and of course it wasn't hers. It was a water bottle that got swapped with someone else's. That was a really bad alcohol.
So that two cocktails the night before was probably a little skewed and
yeah. But that's what happens, man. This is what it's about. It's definitely not the first person that we've checked their stuff and there was liquor or something in their bag, and it's probably not going to be the
second
last.
one in the past couple months.
I kind of as weird as this sounds, like I really enjoy it when you do find something. There's a little bit of gratification because you were thoughtful enough to go through their belongings, but also it like teaches you like things to look out for. You know what I mean? Like you don't really get that kind of raw experience of doing intakes without that type of stuff happening. And so I'm glad we found it. We ended up going through, and yeah, everything else was fine. But so it is.
Something like that kind of freaks me out as far as like withdrawal. Then you know what I mean? Like
Detoxing.
yeah, detoxing off alcohol, depending on how long they've been drinking. If they're drinking like that, I mean that's a straight alcoholic move.
Well, it's like I think too. It's
Power move.
I mean that's
what makes us so good at what we do. Like we're addicts helping addicts,
no. I'm
alcoholics helping
just
alcoholics.
wondering how long she's been drinking with straight.
We're gonna find out
gas.
real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
I'm
Like,
saying.
and everybody's aware, and we're very transparent. Like, this is not something that's just like, oh, it's our little secret. No, like we want people to know what to look out for.
Yeah.
You know, Becca, Sam, Nicole, we're all out there helping us, and this particular, I guess I've said the gender like 5 times already, but
Yeah, what's that matter?
I don't know. I'm like on eggshells, like
Yeah.
afraid to say things now,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Everyone's watching.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, like you want to get a circle around this person
Yeah.
of good people that can help you get through it. Like,
That's a perfect house too.
yeah,
It's perfect girls. I think this is probably the best option for her.
I think this is probably the best that house has been for sure. With the, we went over there and had that meeting with them Wednesday night, and then went over there today, and there was just a vibe in the whole house. Like there were people moving, and they were smiling, and they were communicating, and they were talking, and I don't think this girl could have ended up in a better position.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Project Exodus so good. It's like and very reliable is because we the checks and balances between peers in the program.
Yeah. Plus, everyone's at their healthiest over there. Everyone's even a couple months into this now, a month and a
Yeah.
half.
Uh-oh. Sam said, love y'all, man. You guys are awesome sauce. I was just about to say, well, now everyone knows it's a girl. LOL. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah.
It's kind of how she sounds. Not exactly like
Mm-hmm. Old timey.
yeah. Old-timey Southerner.
Yeah. Back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now.
All right, now.
So that was cool. It's been, like I said, it's a long day. I worked till noon. What'd you do today, Andrew? You went to the dump?
Yeah, just trying to catch some eagles. Eagle hunting.
Pokeball it.
Yeah.
The
I would have never thought that you drive out to the landfill and you would find American bald eagles,
You sent me a cool picture.
brown
of one.
eagles. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I took some stuff to the dump for you
for me.
and brought you some furniture.
Did you take stuff from Bernadette or no?
No, that's way across town.
No, I didn't know.
We had to go all the way out to whatever it is. Laurel Road.
What the heck did you do today? I know you went to the gym early because Nicole said she seen you there.
Jim looked at you, watched you
Chicks?
hit off like 1,000 Discord messages
Yeah.
all
Today?
morning. Just boom, boom, boom. Everyone,
I
like
was on it.
80 people.
Had that
flying.
Starbucks this morning. It was good to go.
Jim ran to a couple banks. Met you at Bernadette for the ghost hunt.
Yeah.
Miranda called Miranda. Grace.
Oh man, shout out to Miranda at Grace Life.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know if we accomplished
We
everything.
allowed to talk about that too. No, I mean
Here's my thing. If we talk about someone on the podcast, I think it's because we have a relationship with them.
Yeah.
We earned that right. We break bread with them. We've prayed with these people. We've done.
if you don't
business
like
together.
it, cover your ears.
we wouldn't talk about anyone like we don't love and care about and respect.
Yeah,
And I think we pretty much love and care about everybody in the recovery community.
except
no matter
for
Who?
I don't know. I was hoping you was going to finish that sentence.
I would,
What
yeah.
were you thinking?
I don't know.
I
Our,
had-
our,
No,
Like,
I can't
our
think of anybody.
off-camera banter could have went a million directions.
I had a blank in my
Yeah.
There's not anybody that I don't love and respect in the recovery community. No matter
So
where
just to
they're-
get while we're on the Miranda thing, I want to give a shout out to Miranda. Like whenever we decided to do the halfway house thing, the recovery home thing, if people don't know about us, we were just a nonprofit local community organization, like really trying to unite everything and make a really strong community effort, which we still do, for a new upcoming recovering addict that just didn't have any resources.
we're alcoholic,
Alcoholic, yeah, whatever.
non-discriminatory against
Non-discriminatory.
whatever your thing is.
Yeah. And that being said, like when however it came about where we were offered to go into this program that was currently existing and we were going to be able to kind of, take over. We made a couple phone calls to people in the industry, and Miranda was one of the first, if not the first people we called. And Sonia actually suggested, like, you should call Miranda.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking, I was like, should I call Miranda? Like, is she not going to be like our competition? Like, I didn't really know how to feel about it, but Miranda was like arms wide open, every little bit of advice, like helped us with our paperwork, like our intake forms. And even now, like, we have a really good relationship with her, and she's just such a strong advocate for what we do. And, us getting into the female homes, she has a ton of experience in that. And that call today was great.
And you missed out on part of it where she kind of went over, like, when she was first starting out, like, she had no support from anybody around her because of things that were going on. I don't know all the drama, but but it was cool that she was willing to. She knows how it felt when she started off, and it was an inspirational call. Yeah,
she's told me about that before, because I try to speak with Miranda and Tony and Kelly and all them periodically. I'm a pretty curious person anyways, and like to hear advice of others. There's I don't remember who posted this the other day, but it was like different ways to learn, through experience, or you learn but you learn more through your mistakes. And I would go a level higher and say you learn the best from other people's mistakes. And that's like really the benefit of talking to people like Miranda. It's like, hey, I don't think you should go down this path. I went down this path, and here's what I encountered. And this is what to look out for.
Yeah, kind of.
Uh-oh.
No, like, I would love for it to be that way. Like, think of all the people that told us to not do something, and all we did was do it. But same thing with the people in our houses. We tell them specifically not to do, this is what's going to happen. And I think it's this, like,
I think a lot of that, though, is when people tell us not to do something. I think the reason that we do it is because really early we realized that they never did it. Yeah. Right? Like, they're telling us
did something bad, and they're trying to tell us.
In Miranda's case, it's like, I hate to say this because I don't want this to seem like I'm calling her old, because she's not. It's like she's like big sister. You know what I mean? Like, like she really cares about helping people in recovery like we do. Like, she's really passionate about that entity of it. She really cares about your spiritual life. She really cares about you developing as a human while in their program. And
she's somebody who's been doing what we wanted to do before we started doing it, if that makes sense. She's already been doing the halfway house deal, and she has the experience, and she has the knowledge, and she has the recovery. So
she brought up some topics today. Like, we've got a presenter coming up on Wednesday night named Kat Greenberg. Do you remember us announcing that?
Yep.
I didn't know. I had never heard of the name. No offense. Like, I don't know her, but she mentioned that name in the phone call. It's like Kat comes and does, like, I think once every 2 weeks, like a trauma class about the type of traumas we deal with. Because a lot of people, have some pretty serious traumas, especially in the female side, where there may be domestic violence or, a lot of different things.
She threw out a stat, because we've been going over this, all weekend, really. Over some situations. She said 75% of people in recovery have some type of
mental illness.
Which I was going for 100%. I think I was in the middle of the female house. I said, we're all fucking crazy. But
it's just
what I meant, a high degree.
So, again, very thankful to people like Miranda. Oh my goodness, we've got so many comments. Nicole says no, or we don't have. Good Lord, I can't even keep up with it.
I think it's extremely important that we continue to do what we did when we started Project Exodus Corp, where I think we really just wanted to connect people, whether you're AA or NA, or you live at this house or that house, or whatever your race is or your sex or your beliefs, we don't care. But we know that, we have a solution to the problem of alcoholism and addiction, and we know how to change our lives, and how that's carried over into the halfway house where, we're not competing against Miranda. We're not competing against the people with Purpose House or any of these other houses or programs, because our mission is the same.
Yeah.
Our mission is to save people. Like, we don't, we're all in the business of trying to go out of business, trying to help everybody
Yeah.
they can.
I think one of the things I've had to learn to deal with, especially as of late, is all the opinions of others and not forget like what our mission is. Like our mission is to hold the hand of those that are trying to get this recovery thing and show them how to do it. Like really walk them through the process. Say, hey, we're going to go to this meeting tonight, and while you're there, raise your hand and ask for a sponsor. Tell them you need one, and then or walk up to that person, tell them you ask them to be your sponsor. Like that process, and not only the meeting and program side of it, but like the day-to-day grind of being a human that's, maybe got a couple of felonies. Okay, well, you're going to go here for a job, or here's some recommendations. Use me as a reference. And like what I want to stress is like, as long as we keep that as our focus, like I could care less about the noise, like the other people's opinions. And that's been tough because I think me just naturally, I just want to make everybody happy, and I can't do that.
Yeah, I never
Make me happy.
Yeah,
yeah.
You're good here, man. I never hear anybody's opinions, so
he doesn't.
Full speed
he
ahead.
doesn't hear ours.
Yeah, full speed ahead, man. Never heard any drama.
Yeah. So this week, I'm gonna let you talk about this a little bit more than me. But I think we would be remiss if we didn't talk about Cassidy. And we had a really good friend, still a really great friend. Right out of the gate, in recovery, we would go to meetings, and this guy Cassidy, Andrew, was like, my friend Cassidy's gonna come pick us up. And I mean, every meeting, every week, YPG,
Monday Night Man, Saturday Night Speaker.
Yeah, we were riding with Cassidy, and Cassidy, for the extent of time that I've known him, has just always been there for anybody and everybody that needed him, and was such a bubbly personality, a lovable guy, just
always smiling.
I always had that same energy, almost, I want to say like aloof, just super chill, hands in his pockets, just that nice guy. And this week, Cassidy lost his life, and it's been very emotional for us, and especially Andrew. Andrew had such a great relationship with Cassidy, and our thoughts, our prayers go out to him and his family. He's got a beautiful daughter with 12, right?
Something like that.
Yeah,
I'm not exactly sure.
It's a terrible thing, and I don't want to go into too many details because I don't know all of the details, but what I will say is this is why we do what we do, and I wish there was more we could have done, and unfortunately, I can't. I don't really ever want to just reflect in that, live in that headspace. But if you're out there and you're struggling, or you're thinking about using, or you're thinking about drinking, or you're going through anything, please pick up the phone.
He was sober for 4.5 years, so it's not like it was like, like he was brand new and he hadn't done this before and he hadn't experienced relapse before. Like he knew, and he'd been sober a long time.
Yeah, I remember he was getting like his year chip when I first came.
Yeah. And what's crazy is from what I remember early in recovery, before I got a license in a car, when he was picking us up he came to the men's retreat too. I don't know if you guys remember, he was there for the men's retreat as well. I'd see him several times a week, and I wasn't like as close to him as some of the other friends that I have at the young people's group. But nonetheless, the only meetings that I know that he was going to were the meetings that I would call him for rides for, So when he was picking us up for the men's meeting or YPG or the speaker, he wasn't doing any other meetings outside of the ones that he was picking us up for that I knew of. I know that he probably was going to YPG occasionally, but he had kind of like done what your sponsor calls the slow fade, where you kind of just slowly fade away and you kind of stop. Well,
let's
that's what I've been thinking about this week is like, was there more I could have done to make him feel or be more connected in a way that didn't necessarily mean, going to an AA meeting or.
And I've thought about that too. We've been doing a lot, man. We try to include everybody, and here's what I want to say, and I really just kind of want to keep this on the up and up. You know, Cassidy was such an amazing person. He genuinely was, and he had been through a lot of struggles like most of us had. And there's one memory of Cassidy, a story he told me that has always stuck with me. And we were in the car, we were riding, and at this time Shelby was pregnant, and Cassidy was one of the few people I told about it. Like, I'm going to be a dad, and I would ask him for her advice and like, what is it like? And we had dropped you off at home, and he's taken me back over to Olive, and we were talking about praying, and he was telling me this story about how he's never, been someone to pray. Right. And he was in this, I think it was like a rehab or something, and they're all sitting in a circle and they're going around taking turns saying a prayer. And the guy gets to Cassidy, and Cassidy's like, I don't know how to pray. He says, well, just if you could ask God for anything, what would it be? And he said, I lowered my head and I said, Dear God, give me the ability to use and drink without consequences. Amen. And that was so profound to me, because like, the truth is you can't. God answered that prayer with a very firm no. And that's for everyone. We can't, we can use and we can drink, but there will always be consequences. Always. And I don't care if you if you think you have a problem or you don't think you have a problem, there's consequences to the actions we have. But when Cassidy said that to me, for some reason, I've carried that everywhere with me. And that was his message. It was like, that's the truth. We can't drink and use without consequences. And, rest in peace, Cassidy. We love you. We miss you. I hope, and I know for a fact, especially speaking for Andrew, that, the rest of our lives, this is what we dedicate our lives to, is to helping people like Cassidy and people like us escape those demons, man. And so I didn't really want to bring the whole thing down, but I think it would be pretty we should definitely talk about that and think of things like that when it comes to people like Cassidy losing their life to this addiction, this disease.
I would say that what this made me think about is like all of the people that I used to see regularly at meetings, and so my life and my recovery looks a whole lot different than it did in the beginning. As far as like, I don't have this huge volume of 12-step meetings that I attend, but nonetheless, if there's people that are still sober, or people that you used to see around a lot and you're not seeing anymore, I think it's not a bad thing to, put some feelers out, send some messages out, invite people out, try to get them back in. Maybe not necessarily, saying, hey, you need to get to a meeting, but like, hey, let's hang out. Like, hey, I'm going to go do this meeting somewhere. Will you come speak for me? Things like that, trying to just help people stay connected.
Yeah, me and Joel were talking about it a little bit today. It's like, it shouldn't take things like this to shake us, right? This wakes you up, and it gives you a lot of motivation to maybe do better, or feel like you should do better, or be more motivated to reach out more. And I feel like the three of us and people like us should be the last people that need that type of wake-up call, considering how many times we've came this close to dying or have died and be resuscitated, and how many people we've lost because of this disease. You would think that we would be the last people to kind of need what I say earlier today, like God smelling salts.
Yeah.
This is God smelling salts to kind of wake you up and remind you of what you're here to do and what your service work is. And I hope this is not an example of us sitting on our hands when we should be doing more,
Yeah. It makes me think of like where our deficiencies are at. Like, could we have reached out on a personal level? I mean, that's why I'm thinking, like, I need to reach out on a personal level and connect with people in meetings I don't normally talk to. I mean, we've had a lot going on. Usually we do that, I think, more naturally, but man, we've really done a lot in the past 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are probably listening to this going, you guys crazy? You guys do so much stuff.
I just don't think I do it on a personal level. Well, I got social anxiety anyway, man. So it's like, Probably not even saying hi to anybody all day.
Yeah, Joel in
making it
person.
up in my ugh.
But like this is what kind of scares me when I have a guy that's new in recovery or young, relatively new in recovery, walk up to me and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna leave my halfway house 3 months into it and go get my own place," and like, "Oh, where are you getting?" It's a efficiency hotel room for $900. Like,
yeah. See you
I just
next
wish
year.
I knew what was going on
See you next year, man.
in
Maybe.
the person's head. Like what was going on in his brain. I just wish I knew. I wish I knew more now, and it's too late.
But what is ever going on in our heads when we think of using? Like,
I don't know. I mean, to speak from my experience, it wasn't like I was going through a lot of pain. But before my last relapse, I missed my son. I hadn't seen him in months, and I was clean, but it was just extremely painful. And I was going to meetings, and I was working with my sponsor. I was doing service. I was doing good, and then it just got to a point where I don't know. I think I don't want to say I convinced myself to get high, but the idea popped up, and then I had no defense. I was on my way to the hood.
there wasn't nothing stopping you.
No, dude. And like I was like, I'm just gonna go, and then
I'm just gonna get a little.
I don't know if I was like, I was just gonna go get high once, and then it lasted for 6 months, and then the events transpired in which I ended up meeting you, and but I mean, I feel extremely sad for his family, for his daughter. Like it's a big loss, not just for his friends, but especially for his family. And I can imagine what they're going through, and I've been praying every day for him.
Yeah.
And on the other side of that coin, I've been feeling extremely grateful that I'm alive. And then for how my life's turned out and what I'm doing now, where I am today compared to where I was, this time 3 years ago. I was getting ready to go to jail, and I was living in my car, and and I'm still alive today. So I still have a chance to, continue to try and help save the next person, man. I know I can.
And not to mention, I think it's been 3 people this week that have passed away that we know, what I mean? Like that we personally know. And, that's one thing about recovery. Greg Flagg told me this real early in my recovery. He's like, get yourself a big book and a suit because you're going to go to a lot of meetings and a lot of funerals. And he has not been wrong. I can't say I've been to a ton of funerals, but there's been a ton of them.
It's kind of like
just saw Greg today. He dropped off cheese plate. He just left a funeral.
Shout out Greg Flagg with the cheese plate. Where'd he bring that to?
Hidden Forest. We got that get together. I'm like, perfect spot. Perfect.
Oh, tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little ping pong championship, or I don't know what's going on.
Who knows?
I'm just gonna,
what are y'all doing over there?
Just gonna crash that party.
Yeah.
Let us know.
So how long's Greg in town for? Is he here? Is he heading back?
I think he just swing by.
Typical.
Hey,
Greg.
Joel, I got some cheese for you.
yeah.
I miss Greg, man.
Reconnect with him. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
He's out. So
shout out Greg Flagg. We love you, brother. Yeah, so it's been a good week. We had the meeting Wednesday night, which was men's night. It was me, Andrew, and Flip, who
and Joel. He was there too, I think.
Did I say Joel? No. Me, Andrew, and Flip. No, Joel. If you haven't seen it, you can check it out on our YouTube page. It's up on there, and then it was also on Facebook Live. So, that meeting was really good. The topic was it was about manning up and not making excuses. We dove deep into like character defects that we had prior to getting sober, getting clean, and then things that we want to work on and what kind of people we want to be today, or in that context, what kind of men we want to be today. And I felt like that meeting was awesome. It felt really good. The energy was there. Afterwards, we did bracelets, and I feel like there was like 40 people that got up and celebrated some length of sobriety from, one day. I think there was somebody that got a bracelet for every milestone, didn't they?
Yeah. People love those bracelets, man.
Heck yeah. Are we calling them bracelets, or are we going to call them wristbands? Like, what do we call them? Bracelets? Bands? Yeah. Bands will make our bands. Copyright. So the meeting was good.
It's a pretty frustrating character defect is procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It just popped up because you were talking about character defects, and I was.
What do you think that is? I mean,
I don't know, but for me, it starts with like.
What is procrastination?
It starts with laundry. It's like I need to do laundry.
But explain your definition of procrastination.
Are you trying to make me look stupid, Paul?
No, like he just asked that, and then I asked twice.
Because I don't believe in procrastination, so I would love to hear what.
Oh God, here we go.
No.
This is the same guy that believes in like courts and stuff makes you stronger.
Of course.
I don't know. What is procrastination, Andrew? Educate this guy.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you
Laundry.
Yeah, it's.
This is going to make so much good.
Just go ahead and you give the definition.
So
of
procrastination is basically saying you're going to do something and you put it off
Perfect.
repeatedly, or say you've been scheduled to speak on a Wednesday night at the end of May and you do absolutely zero preparation. Like you don't even have a topic till the day of, and then you throw it all together last minute and you get up there and hope it works. Like you would procrastinate the preparation time and the things that you should be doing in order to be prepared for said task.
Correct.
Right.
But that's like, to me, that there shouldn't even be a word for that. That's avoiding discomfort. Like we say like, like we act like it's accident. Like, I'm a procrastinator. Like it was an accident. No, I'm deliberately avoiding discomfort.
I think it's meant to be a word to describe someone's actions, right?
Fear.
Like, no, well,
I'm not afraid of fucking laundry, but
the discomfort of doing the laundry now, I'm going to put it off.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, but if you're
like, it's procrastinating.
I love arguing with Joel.
Well, just let me tell you.
If Joel and I were sitting here talking about Andrew came up to me today and said he had no clean clothes to go to work. And I'm like, and Joel would say that's because he procrastinated and waited to the last minute to actually do a load of laundry. So he didn't.
He avoided the discomfort of doing it now and put it off for a later time.
Yeah, exactly. And
crazy,
there's one word to describe that whole two sentences.
But people use it, I think, as like an accidental thing. Oh, I'm procrastinator. No, you're
lazy.
Avoidance.
Hi, Mom.
Or even lazy. I mean,
Mom's
that's
here.
Avoiding work.
Hey, Angel. No, you're right.
We try to smooth it over like procrastination. I'm just lazy.
Yeah.
No, you're avoiding. Yeah.
What a loser. No, like you're right. Like people will use that as a way to to excuse what their actual problem is.
Yeah, I'm like accidentally avoiding laundry and anything different.
See what I started? All I was going to say was when you talked about character defects, is it made me think about how I don't want to fold my laundry, and so it'll just sit in the dryer all week, and I'll just be picking clothes out, and then the next week I'll have to do laundry, but there'll still be unfolded clothes, and then when it just like makes my whole week just. It just kind of scatters me around,
It's the opposite of the delayed gratification type.
It takes 10 minutes, and after I finish it, it feels great. All my stuff's folded, put away, but it's like little things like that, like something so small, it's just not folding my laundry or just spending an hour or two doing my laundry. It just like jacks up my whole.
So let me ask you this, and I think I know the answer to this. What do you do? So when your laundry is watch,
you know everything.
Yeah, pooped your pants. Try me. Watch this. So
when was that?
While your laundry is sitting in said dryer.
Yeah, try me.
Yeah. He said, I don't know any. I'm pretty good.
No, it's true.
I'm pretty good.
Go to Chewy's. The Chewy's is so good, man.
Yeah.
I love that Tex-Mex. It's so good.
Oh, yeah. And then you have that long ride.
Until you wake up and there's poop in your bed.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
God.
That's the laundry you avoided doing?
No, I did that laundry
my God.
ASAP.
What are you doing when your laundry's sitting? You said it takes 10 minutes, right?
To fold.
But what are you choosing to do instead of said laundry?
I don't know. I mean,
watch anime?
Solo leveling.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like, we choose something outside of our responsibilities. And I'm
more comfortable.
Yeah, I'm guilty of it too. Like when I got back from Nashville, when I flew back last week, I'm still feel like I'm coming out of this fog of just like every normal task I need to be getting done. It's like I just dread it. Where like before the vacation, it never was even a thought. It's like, I'm going to go do this thing at work. Where do you think those type of things come from? Is it from complacency? Just being so complacent and just like, I don't want to do it.
Oh, I've never, my whole life has never lived where I was on this structured routine. I kind of just, for my entire life up until my, early 30s when I got sober, I kind of just did whatever I wanted. I had no cares in the world. I didn't have to take care of myself. It was your responsibility to take care of me. So it's just a matter of, I don't know.
Yeah. Joel's perfect.
I'm about to start dropping it off at Joel's in the Meadows.
Yeah. Joel doesn't have that type of time. Period. He's going to bed.
He's probably got like 4 Filipino women in his house cleaning,
tied up.
I get all that stuff done.
Oh man,
he's always relaxed because he's just
got a bunch of maids
and
everything else.
Seuss's. And
we were making a joke today when he wasn't present, right? Like talk how we call him Batman. And
I never talk about Joel.
The new girl comes into the house and she was like, "Oh, I'm friends with Joel on Facebook. I didn't even know he did all this stuff." I was like, "Nobody does." It's like that's his Batman quality. Is like he's Joel behind the scenes. He's
the
out
James
saving
Bond
lives
in recovery, you know.
Well, because I keep it kind of off social media, so
yeah, I
need my Batman life and my Bruce Wayne life.
00 Ross.
Sometimes, like, I'll see his side of that argument of like not being so public on social media about his recovery when like there's just moments where I'll be approached by someone in like a random store like, "Oh, you're Paul from Project Exodus, you're sober," and I'm just standing in a line at Wawa and I'm like, "This is why Joel."
Yeah. Or when I'm going on a date with someone not in the recovery community and we're walking down Main Street and I got homeless guys walking up and be like, "Yo, man, I'm sorry about that the other weekend." Or,
has that happened?
I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, "Get your ass back to the library."
No, I mean, but I
call me tomorrow, man.
I try to put myself.
No, my name is all of them.
Yeah,
like listen, you go down.
Put yourself. This is where I think that the logic is lost in Joel's argument because he's looking at it from his point of view. But think about the point of view of said date, right? You're the guy he's dating.
It's like those weird guys.
No.
Why is every homeless guy know?
Yeah. No. I mean,
some of them know me from back in the day. Some of them know me from business.
Nicole said, "So what happens when you date someone for a while?" Question mark. I don't know what.
I mean, think about it. Like I had to go on. Like every Friday night, I'm
just be careful.
Every Friday night, I'm doing rent collection. What's up, man? Oh, look.
Huh?
What are you doing?
Can I have a sun drop from in the fridge?
What sun drop?
In the fridge.
What is it, though? What is
the
that?
soda.
Yeah, you can have some.
Oh, man.
Hey, close the door.
When your podcast is in the middle of a daycare.
Yeah. Poor Sheldon.
We're in the back of a daycare doing a podcast.
Did you not just... So, like, and Nicole brings up a good point here. So back to Joel's going on a date downtown. He's been disguising his philanthropy the entire relationship, and a homeless guy walks up and he's like, "Hey, Joel, thanks for
not
all the
a
help."
homeless guy.
Several.
Yeah.
One
would have been.
You're gonna stop taking him downtown, dude.
A homeless herd walks up and approaches him. But here's the thing: it's like I think about the date, the person you're dating, seeing this guy that she obviously is interested in, or she wouldn't be going on a date with him, looking and going, "Okay, what was that about?" And you'd be like, "I help homeless people." Yeah, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like you help homeless people, you drive a Batmobile, you have a great hairline for your age, it's
really weird, but
yeah.
You're cute."
Is that why when we on Friday nights you drive us around to all these random houses and collect money?
Yeah, man.
Are you a drug dealer, Joel?
Nicole said, "How does that work for honesty?"
I don't think
lie.
I don't lie. It's just a lot. I mean, it's weird going like to try to date someone outside the recovery community and explain to them like right off the bat like what I do for a living, what do I do for fun, what do I do, why do I not drink or why do I not do drugs or what? I mean, it's just a lot of like.
How do those dates go where you don't talk about those things? So
no, we do.
Yeah, I mentioned.
But it's almost like an uncomfortable interview.
What do you say you do in your free time? Hey, Joel, what do you like to do for fun, Joel?
Hi, Joel. Nice to meet you. Where are you from? Oh, yeah, that's cool. What do you do for a living? Oh, yeah, what do you do when you're not working? I fight crime. Like, how is that awkward? I mean, I don't get it.
No, it's usually it's awkward. Like they'll want to meet up at a bar or something, and then we have that like weird conversation about like,
I don't drink.
oh, you can't just have one with me. You know what I mean? You
No,
can't,
I don't drink. I'm an alcoholic.
You ever tried to?
But you like drink like on your birthday or something.
No, I'm an alcoholic.
What
Do you
about
not
like
understand?
on New Year's Eve?
No, I'm an
What about when we
alcoholic.
get married,
Yeah,
Joel?
but you smoke
Nope.
weed? Like I
No,
smoke weed a little bit.
I'm sober.
Oh,
I go to NA or AA meetings. I don't participate.
oh, okay. What happened?
Well, when I
Something
drink, when I drink, I tend to smoke crack. You know, like it's.
What happened? You smoke crack before?
Is that a problem for you? Because now I'd like to know if it's a problem now because I don't want to waste my time.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say then, from my experience, most of the people they're either like, "No thanks," or most of them are understanding. And when I say most, I don't mean like there's like this.
Do you
heroin-
drink? Oh, I used to.
Oh boy.
Oh boy,
I
you
mean,
don't
'cause
want
it's
that.
going to come out anyways, but I don't think you're wrong for not wanting to talk about
It's
that
not
stuff.
I don't want to. It's just like here's like when I go on a date with someone, there is, as opposed to the average person probably, and I don't even know what the average is. There is a thick layer of awkwardness. It seems like I have to go through just through conversation, and I'm awkward anyway.
Yeah.
But to explain what I do for a
Facts.
living and just homeless people walking up to you,
You just don't like talking. Like that's the truth. It doesn't really
we
have.
can just communicate with in silence, lady. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
What happened?
I don't know. I hate
Like
it.
if our date was just me just sitting with her all night, I
Could
could
you
nail that.
imagine that?
Freaking nail that. Like I'm your.
I remember one time I asked him if he was going to invite this girl that he had interested in to the meeting. He was like, "No, like you don't want her to see you dressed up on stage talking to people." Absolutely not. You know, like I kind of get it.
Yeah, so I like to keep. I don't want to date within the recovery community.
Oh, I don't,
I don't-
doubt that. I mean, I don't
It's just
blame
it feels like a small town. I feel like because we started the nonprofit and because I got home, so now it's a business. I don't want to date in the company.
Nicole's got all the good questions. She said, "So you do communicate it, just not right off the rip."
Yeah, I don't usually. That's not my opening line. Like, hey, I'm
Guess what?
yeah, my best friends are homeless drug addicts.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, I can understand, like, the getting to know each other stage is going
Yeah.
to consist of, okay, well, what do you do? Where
Yeah.
are you from? And, you know,
And it's right off the bat. It's usually date one.
yeah, but that's
People wanna meet
probably
up.
80% of who Joel
Yeah.
is. You know, like,
I don't know. No, I got a whole another Bruce Wayne side of me, man. I'm trying
No,
to.
you don't.
no.
I
I want to meet that guy.
He might be like Christian Bale from American Psycho. That's what I imagine.
Can
would
we
say
invite
most-
him to
I
the
would say
podcast?
I
at
could
least-
see him peeling like masks off
But at
his
least
face
50% of my you know, what I mean, like of my life is like, you know, I got the most basic mundane. I'm an accountant full time for, you know, for a HVAC company. You know what I mean? So it's like all the people there. There's no addicts or drug addicts.
Yeah,
you know,
spice this up, man.
there's
That's boring.
But you know what I mean? Like that's
Add a
not,
homeless
that's
guy.
a whole nother.
I'm an accountant for an HVAC company.
Yeah,
I know, boring. Wait till you hear the rest of the story.
No, I mean, I'm just saying. So that's like not even that does like these are like two complete opposites of like jobs.
Nicole said she's really just taking notes. Just kidding. No, so I mean, I guess getting past that stage is, I don't know. I can get it. Like,
I'm not saying it's a stage. I'm not saying like I lie. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying when I go on a date and meeting someone for the first time, there's an extra more than probably the average person has to go
how
through. to cut through.
how often when you do date people is the initial like place to go a bar, or is there drinks involved?
I would say most of the time, always like.
Who picks the place? Do you ever pick the place, or are they like, "Do you want to go here?" Or do you
It's
like?
probably like, wherever you want to go.
Because if you're smart, you would say, "All right, you know."
When you're at the
Usually
Latin
I wanna
Quarter,
get- because
ice
I have
cream.
because I like to kind of diffuse some of the anxiety. I like a more active like date,
like
like a walk, like a meetup. Plus, like I'm going off, especially if it's on the app and I'm going off pictures. I just know that's probably the best
He wants
version
to-
of it. So
I need to run. I need some room to.
is that superficial?
Can I
I
ask
don't know.
this?
I'm just
And
saying-
I'm being extremely serious. And I'm not trying to isolate or discriminate against any particular type
Just-
of woman. Just say what I want to say.
Go ahead.
Do you ever think of looking for love in places that like church, right? Like
Yeah.
like someone that's more probably been through whatever they've been through, and they're ready to settle down, and they're looking more at their spiritual side. How much of that plays in a factor to when you're looking for a potential companion?
So, no, I mean, it plays in my mind all the time, but like, for some reason, I have this fear of walking into church alone with like,
let's talk about this.
Like, I don't want to go to like the church that like you go to, because I feel like that's kind of the same pool of people that's in our recovery community and stuff. So
why are you going?
Are we talking about the church part?
Yeah.
I thought you talked about women or what?
Well, no, I wasn't really talking about that particular location. I'm just saying, like,
asking me to go to church.
Is that a very important quality to you when you're looking for a companion? Their spiritual beliefs, or
no.
No. But to what you were saying about walking into church, is that something like you like? How do you feel about that? Like, from your spiritual perspective in recovery, like. I didn't
meet a woman that's
no
heavily involved in church, or what, or just a walk in church.
I think he's getting away from the woman part.
Yeah, I was getting away from the woman part a little bit. Well, because that just really, that's something I've recently experienced it from a different lens. Like, for those that know me, like, I've went to church my entire life for the most part, and I really had a very unique experience. Me and Andrew went a few weeks ago. We've been going regularly. Mm-hmm. And this is the first time I've went regularly to Sunday morning services since, been sober for sure, probably since 2020, 2019. And I had a really bitter, just wasn't open-minded to worshiping a different way. And me and Andrew went to South Shore a couple of times, and then we found our way over to Grace. Grace Life Sarasota, shout out to Pastor Joe and the people over there. What a wonderful place to go. I mean, but I remember sitting there, and Eden sitting in between me and Andrew, and being able to see the people in our homes and the people that we've, helped, or that give us way more praise than I feel like we're worth a lot of times. Like, knowing that they were living in the woods 30 days ago, and now they're standing up, with tears in their eyes, praising God, and they have their own little group of friends. And I experienced something different there now. It's like, I just want to go, not only to worship God or the higher power of my choosing, but I enjoy going for the unity that it's not necessarily a recovery meeting, if that makes sense. Like, I'm just Paul there, and it's just really neat. You know what I'm talking about? When we were sitting there, and like, then some guy comes in, I don't even recognize him. He's wearing a Project Exodus shirt, turns around and like daps us up mid-service, and
something about the fellowship. I mean, it's nice when you kind of got your, going to, it's the same feeling I get when I go to a meeting that I haven't been to in a while, and I see people, or even going to, like, let's say church, for instance, and people that we know, seeing our friends, and family, our recovery family.
You guys are, but I guess you would call it extroverts. Mm-hmm. And so, like, the recovery, as much as I'm involved with people, that's overwhelming to me. Like, I don't want to add I don't want to add more me and surrounded by a bunch of people. It drains me. It's like this.
So where do you find peace? Is it in the solitude?
Probably in the gym, at home when I'm, watching something that's like thought provoking, or on my bike rides, man. I do like an hour a night. Yeah, I don't put the headphones in, and that's where I recreate like what I want to do.
So, I mean, just to put you on the spot, like, what do you want from, a relationship standpoint? Like, what
like outside of sex?
What? PG-13.
Like, besides the sex part?
Like, okay, here's a good question. Like, does it matter to you if they drink?
No, I don't want them drinking alcoholically. No. I mean, I don't want her to
but that doesn't
wake up in the morning and have to pop a bottle.
If they were, let's say they were California sober, would that be something that's like a barrier you're not willing to cross?
They're smoking like every day, and it's like their coping mechanism. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's okay with the right balance of a girl who might drink occasionally, have a glass of wine. Probably.
I don't care anything about socially using. Like, if you're using it to connect socially,
what if he's smoking crack socially?
That's illegal. Which he's okay with.
That's true.
Yeah,
there's no such thing.
Are we in her car or?
So just any kind of social, no.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, I don't have any issues with alcohol or drugs, period. I just personally can't put them in my body because the consequences and how I behave.
Right. But
So
let's
what
let's
that guy
let's
said,
just be
I agree with
I
that.
want
So,
I want a
like-
black and white yes or no question.
I still may, own a
Girl
a
drinks a
nightclub
glass of
later in
wine
life.
once every now and then with her
I
Italian
don't
dinner.
care.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
care.
that's fine.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
I'm not saying for me, but I'm asking you. Like, smokes a fat bowl. I don't know. Like, fires up a hooter after dinner. Like, is that?
Is it annoying in her mannerisms and the way she behaves, like after she's intoxicated? Like I don't like
Yes.
hanging out with an intoxicated person
Okay,
when I'm
there we go.
sober, so that can be annoying. If she's just having a couple drinks, I can't really tell. You know what I mean? Or if we're socially,
No.
But like a lot of people I'll go meet and they'll be like, "Oh, I'll just have a couple drinks while I watch them slam like 6," and I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of the way I
Did
used
she
to drink."
drive here?
Yeah, and
You
then they
driving
start
home?
acting different, and and then they start talking about their exes and how they were all the bad guys, and I'm like, "All right, red flag,
imagine- How
All right.
difficult?
red flags all over."
How difficult is it to date at this age?
I don't know. It's weird because I'm also looking at possibly a stepfather role to some extent on at this age, no matter like who,
Yeah,
I mean, like
you'd
there's a
make it.
lot of different.
You're a cute stepdaddy.
I mean, you're getting tons of practice, dude. You can get it eaten anytime you want.
Oh, with the
That was not what I thought. I thought you asked. You mean you can be practiced by watching our kids as well.
Yeah,
Um,
great with kids and
great with
people.
kids. Yeah.
No, I dated women. I lived with women that had kids. So in a way, for a few years here and there, I was kind of took a stepfather role.
You know,
Have you ever disciplined someone else's kids?
Not really.
he doesn't have self-discipline. What?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I was just, I could see Joel just
No, Joel's a very.
I don't know
Just
where
talk about-
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of carve out your place when you carve it out. Like I'm not disciplining someone else's
Do
kids
you-
unless I feel
I
like
don't even
there's.
know how we turned this into a Maury Pulpich episode.
Yeah,
but-
I didn't see this coming.
but
Was it
out of
prepared?
curiosity,
He's not asking me questions.
Yeah, get over there, man.
well, I mean,
Because I'll have to be honest.
honestly,
you know? I'll have to be.
jeez. I mean, look, I think it's important for our audience.
It's
to
an
get to know
awesome
us.
conversation though. Like 'cause it's kind of the one I would like to have had. Not today, but I would have procrastinated.
I mean, 3 episodes.
Can we have?
After we've
Can we have
been,
this episode 33?
we've been throwing out some bangers lately. So, I don't know. I think that dating is different for everyone. I can only speak for myself now, like, because I don't date. I'm in a very committed relationship that I enjoy, and it's for you guys. I kind of live vicariously through you two. Like
what would it be like?
I mean, there's
well, like
nothing
I
vicarious going on.
So
over
if I
here.
run into a
There's
girl, I
definitely
think to
vibes.
myself, I'm like, oh, this girl would be perfect for Joel, or I do. She'd be perfect for Andrew,
Yeah.
um,
And what do you see when you say she'd be perfect?
docile. Like, no. I mean, like, someone that's going to keep you humble, like, and bring that balance spiritually to your life. I harp on that because I think that's a really important thing. Like, and I'm not talking that people that don't have like a strong spiritual background, they don't have morals. I'm not saying that, but what you're getting with someone that's kind of reinvested themselves into something as serious as a meaningful relationship with a higher power. They're looking for different qualities in a man than most people. And for you and for Andrew, of course, as your friend, like that's what I want for you. I want you to have someone that loves you unconditionally and don't care about your past, and they don't care about how many homeless people you've hung out with,
or if you pooped in the bed.
yeah, they don't care.
Choose.
Andrew pooped in the bed once.
Yeah. Oh, from the Chewies?
Recently.
Yes, he
Yeah,
called
shout
me.
out Chewies, yeah.
I so
Yeah. Chewies and Lutes.
What you have there?
It was I don't know.
That was
Chimichanga?
Tampa one.
No, it was like these serrano pepper stuff with chicken and deep
what is
fried.
wrong with us?
You're like, everything's good, man. And it was good. I'm just never ever gonna order it again. I know that.
Yeah. Well, shout out to any women that are whatever you just said, man. Like,
Well, I do believe that God puts the right person in your life, like that, and that's just and I'm very unapologetic and very public. Like I'm a Christian, and I'm growing and I'm learning and trying to be a better version of that every day of the week. I'm trying to grow spiritually, But like those values and those things, and I think are very important in a relationship. I think they're great qualities to add. Like you've got two people that are praying for one another and doing the Lord's work day in and day out, and have a mind to look past someone's inefficiencies or their past to see the real value in them. I mean, that's what we do with anybody in addiction. And so in order to, you would want a companion that can relate to you on that level. I'm not saying they have to be a drug addict or an alcoholic, but if they have compassion for the least of us, then to me, that would be extremely important. They're not going to care.
And it's been weird. I mean, the person I would have been into 4 years ago isn't the same person I'd be into today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can see like a lot of more toxic traits. I mean, just my maturity level on an inner perspective level, just myself and like what I'm trying to achieve when I'm in a relationship, when I'm, it's a whole nother world. So I don't even know.
A whole new world.
So, we're at anything guys that you want to add? We're kind of in an hour and 3 minutes, and I bet Shelby's in there babysitting herself to death. And then, I'm sure the guys are looking for us to come fix this AC.
Yeah. Just
real quick, I want to let everybody know that this Wednesday night, May 21st?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yes.
May something. Wednesday.
May 21st.
May 21st at 7:00 at 1801 North Lockwood Ridge Road. We have the one and the only Nicole Hastings doing a presentation on fear. I really hope that if you're in town and you're available Wednesday night at 7, that you can stop by and check out Nicole. She's extremely well spoken, a great presenter, and she is going to bring a very powerful topic this Wednesday night. If you're not in town and you want to watch it live on Facebook, you can tune in to Project Exodus Corp's Facebook page. We will be posting there, commenting and talking about all the good stuff. You can check out our website, projectexoduscorp.com, where there's a place where you can donate. We take those funds and we help people in early recovery with cell phones, bus passes, and scholarships and money to get into programs, shoes, work clothes, things of that nature, things that people need in early recovery to get back on their feet. You can check out the merch store at projectexoduscorp.com. There's a little handbag in the top right-hand corner. If you click that and go to the shop, or you can scroll down and show you a few hoodies, t-shirts, things of that nature that are all recovery-based. And all of the money and proceeds that we generate from those purchases, we use to help people in early recovery. So even if you don't want to donate $1,000, you can buy a t-shirt, and that money goes to helping people, and you get a cool t-shirt in the meantime. So, yeah, again, thanks, everybody. It's been episode 30.
Yeah.
Right?
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Even if you're in a recovery home that our meeting doesn't count for, you should still swing out as an 8th meeting for the week or whatever. If you're in your 90 and 90, come check us out. We'd love to connect with you.
Or while you're at the meeting that you can be at, you can always watch it live on Facebook in the back.
Well,
Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but you can watch it. You can watch the meeting for 30 days on Facebook if you miss it.
Yeah.
Come out.
Because we miss out on a lot of people that I think we could vibe with and hang out. Recovery is a party.
Yeah. And this meeting, we need your help. This is a place to get a really good service position outside of making coffee and door greeting. Yeah. Nothing wrong with those.
Might be an extra meeting for the week that doesn't count for your whatever. But
listen, you want to come have the time of your life at a meeting that's amazing, with a lot of entertainment value, a lot of educational value, and the unity is second to none. I mean, it's by far one of the Arrogant Paul's coming at best meeting in town, best meeting of the week. I mean, you're really going to see something different when you come out to Next Generation Recovery. And we really encourage you. We hope to see you there. If you are there, come by, say hi. My name's Paul. This is Andrew, and there's Joel. So you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys. Love you guys.
If you are what you say you are,